Welcome back to the Pig Trail Show. It is now time to talk basketball recruiting, which is why we have Kevin McPherson on the line to inform us on the latest recruiting news in terms of basketball. And first and foremost, Kevin, hello. Happy Father's Day to you.
Wow, thank you, Alyssa. I appreciate that.
Let's talk about the class of 2021 and a guy named Harrison Ingram. He is a five-star that Arkansas would love to have on campus.
Big-time player in that class of 2021, the top-rated player in Texas, national top 15 guy. And he's a guy that's been on Eric Musselman's radar and Arkansas's radar for a while now. He took an unofficial visit in August. Arkansas coaches went out to see him before that unofficial visit. They went out after that unofficial visit to Dallas to not only see him play at the high school level, but to go to campus for a visit at Dallas St. Mark's where he plays. But he just reached out to me in the middle of the week and said, hey, I've been on the phone in the past week with Arkansas coaches just about every day. And so we know it was about mid-May when he narrowed his list. He had over 40 offers. All the blue bloods are after him, but he narrowed it down to 10, and Arkansas was in that top 10, but that was mid-May. So he reaches out in the middle of the week and says, hey, I've been, really burning up the phone lines with Arkansas coaches. So thought that was pretty significant. He even shared with me, look, I'm going to probably pare my list down. It may be about a month or so. He might cut that in half to a top 5 or 6, and then, a commitment to follow. Now, he could sign in that early November period, which is not that far away when you start thinking about this next recruiting class for 2021. But 6'7", very versatile. I call him a point forward. He can play the 1 through 5. High IQ basketball player, very skilled. He's actually been using the downtime in the weight room. He's transformed his body even more. He's become more muscular on top of that big frame. So, here's a guy that Arkansas would love to have. So would a lot of other schools. But just the idea that Arkansas continues to work on this player. Now, Musselman's sister, her kids go to St. Mark's, so there's ties there. Corey Williams, Arkansas's assistant coach, has a relationship with Harrison Ingram and his father that goes back several years. And then Mason Jones, there's ties to Mason Jones also from DeSoto, Texas, that Dallas area. So there's some Arkansas ties there. This could be good for Arkansas. Like I said, they're in the top 10. Schools like Stanford are thought to be heavily in the mix. Purdue, North Carolina, there's some other ones, but Arkansas is right in it.
Yeah, you love to hear that. Let's talk now about the class of 2020 guys looking a little further down the road. We've got 5 guys to talk about here. Let's start with Nick Smith.
Yeah, and you look at that 2022 class, Alyssa, it is, when you really look at it, comparing it to 2020 that just signed and those freshmen are coming in, this class could be just as good at the top and maybe deeper. But Nick Smith Jr., we'll start with him. Our Arkansas coaches on June 15th at the strike of midnight, that's transitioning from Sunday night to early Monday morning, could reach out to that class for the first time. All college coaches could, and Arkansas burn up the phone lines. Nick Smith Jr. was one of those that they reached out to, but he also picked up 6 offers this week as coaches for the first time. Again, could begin having direct contact with these players in that class. But he's a guy now with well over 10 offers, pushing 6'5" at Sylvan Hills. I call him an alpha scorer. He's a guy that's very creative and capable with the basketball. He's also sees the floor well and is a facilitator. So he's really a true combo guard. Darien Ford, 6th degree, pushing 6'4" down in Magnolia, back-to-back state championships down there. Another top 50 national player like Nick Smith Jr., a guy that has a ton of offers already, picked up a Texas Tech offer. Again, Arkansas coaches reached out to him. You go down the list here, Khalil Ware, the 6'11" forward center at North Little Rock, picked up a Texas Tech offer. Arkansas coaches reached out to him after midnight back on the 15th. You look at Javion Guy King, 6'4", 6'5" wing at Little Rock Mills. He's reported an Arkansas offer. And then we talk about Joseph Penny at Moulton, who's absolutely blown up in the last few months. Picked up a Kansas offer a while back, an Arkansas offer a few months ago. And then you look at this week, he's gotten offers again from Baylor and Oklahoma on top of a nice list of offers for him, a 6'6" combo guard out at Moulton. So those 5 guys, busy week for them as coaches could reach out, but Arkansas made sure to be in touch with them after the strike of midnight, all 5 of them. And that class is even deeper. There's some other guys we'll talk about it later down the line. But at least for those 5, you probably had a dozen to 15 new offers for them just this week.
Yeah, Kevin, I want to know, because people like to talk about numbers and scholarship numbers. When you're looking at this class of 2022, realistically, how many scholarships will Arkansas have there?
Well, if we've learned anything from Eric Musselman now in his second recruiting cycle is he's turned the roster over. He signed 5 guys when he first got to Arkansas. Basically, he came in April last year, 2019, and had 5 college transfers by the time August hit. I think this time we've seen him add 7 players. So I don't think this is a coach to me that's going to work the portal. He's going to work the high school scene, and in the combination of both of them and the transient nature now of college basketball, I think he's comfortable turning the roster over, half the roster over. Right around half. That's 12 players, by the way, in the last 2 years, and that works out to about half the roster. So these 2022 guys, I think as many as Arkansas can target, and like I said, they've got 5 offers out. There may be a couple more worthy of him. We'll see. But I think Arkansas will prioritize Arkansas kids, the Razorback coaching staff, and I think they'll make the numbers work. Whatever that turns out to be at that time. That's so far away, it's hard to predict. But I think just by the nature of what we've seen Musselman do, he's not afraid to turn over at least half the roster. That used to be unheard of because that's not the way you build a program long term. But there's nothing long-term about college basketball now. It's an annual process. Your roster's turned over. Players are transferring. Guys are leaving early to try to play pro basketball. It's just the nature of it. I think Musselman, because of his pedigree and working in the NBA and all levels of pro basketball and free agency and all that, he's kind of tailor-made for where college basketball has gone.
Yeah, absolutely. And, the formula that Musselman brings to the table is successful. He's proven that already. So, again, as we look to the future, it'll be interesting to see how it all plays out. And as you talk about new guys, Arkansas is going to have at least 7 new guys on campus this year as well. We appreciate all the knowledge, Kevin. Can't wait to catch up with you next week. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday.
Thank you. Good to be with you guys.